Hi everybody, here's another little instalment of make sure you use up your stuff. The next item that we're going to talk about making sure we use them instead of saving them for best or anything like that is ink pads. And I've got a whole host here today that I'm going to show you. So let's start off with these ones. These aren't all that old and they're all sitting, as you can see, still sealed. They've still got the plastic covers on them. And these were all freebies, I think probably with Creative Stamping Magazine. And they aren't that old. They might be 3 or 4 years old, but they're really not really old. Now I think some of them are absolutely fine, and it's just the next door neighbour, one of them, I'm guessing this top one, which has had a moment and really leaked everywhere. So what I'm actually going to do is finally open them. And hopefully, once we've opened them, we'll be able to remember to use them. So these are all they're Aladyne, and they're all dye inks, I believe. None of these are pigment inks. So I'm hoping, no, well this one has leaked. We can see it's green. Bear with me a moment. I might just need to turn my lights up a bit for you to see properly. Let's try that. Yeah, this one's leaked, which, as you can see, it still had its original packaging on, so it's such a shame. Now, I don't know if that's because my office gets really cold. And, by the way, these have all been sat this way up. They've not been sat upside down. So, how they've had a moment and decided to leak, I don't really know, but I'm going to be an awful mess, clearly, by the time I've finished going through all these ink pads. Yeah, they've definitely all had a bit of a leak. Now, it's interesting, I actually thought that these were going to be a felt pad, but they're not by the look of them. They look like they're a foam pad, so maybe it's because of the foam pad that they've decided to have a little leak. I don't know. And actually test if they even work. So this is the stamp I use when I'm to make my own swatches. Seems to be still have ink on there, so I'm going to assume that the ink pad itself is fine. It's just had a moment of leak. So there's definitely some ink. I can actually see at the bottom of the pad here that there definitely is quite a lot of ink still in there. You can see it's darker at the bottom. So I'm going to say that's worth saving. And let's just move on to the next one and see. I'm guessing, because my office is in a converted part of my garage, and I think at some point it was probably a utility room, and it's not very well insulated. I'm saving up for a new roof to get some better insulation. I think what's probably happened is it could be the temperature, because like I say, these ones aren't all that old. Now, I've not had this problem with any of my, for example, Catherine Pooler inks or Altenew inks, which are all dye-based. The Catherine Pooler and my Stampin' Up ones now. The Stampin' Up and Catherine Pooler are foam pads, quite a firm foam pad like these are. Altenew, I think, are on a felt pad, or more of that type. So yeah, they're still actually. Oh, okay, I missed that, didn't I? But I'm guessing it's to do with the temperature, and if they don't get used when it expands and contracts when it's getting warm and cold, I wonder if, especially because it's not open, and then if it does leak, it's nowhere to go, and they get airlocked, and then this is the result. Okay, so these ones, I think these, my mum gave me these, and these have got a date on. These are 2001. Now, bearing in mind it's 2023, these ones are 22 years old if the date on the back is when they were manufactured. And these ones are, I think, Ink It Up, which I think was Do Crafts at the time. Now that still seems to work. Yeah, made in China with USA inks. Maybe these weren't. I thought these were sold via Do Crafts at the time, but maybe they weren't. So, as you can see, this is like a felt pad, so the foam doesn't degrade. So, still seem to work. And it's not leaked. So that one's worth saving as well. Okay, so these ones that are on the felt pads seem... Yeah, these are all still... Oh, this one's... Ah, interesting. So that one was copyright Nicole. And then this one is Darice. So this one's... So that one was Indigo. This one is True Red. I think she bought these to make Christmas cards. And I know it was before my eldest daughter was born. And she's 18 this year, so... This one's Eggplant. Definitely still seems to have ink and still be purple. So whoever Ink It Up was, I wonder if they were distributed by Do Crafts in the UK. I'm sure they came in Do Crafts things, these ones. So now I have used this one a little bit, but not for a few years. Let's see. You might be able to hear my dog barking. She wants to come in. Let's see. Yeah, I think this one might be a bit dry. But like I say, I know this one's been used. Well, it still sort of works. But is it worth saving? Bearing in mind, I've got 1,000,001 other black ink pads, which probably work better. I'm thinking that might go in my charity box because I really do need to get rid of some things. And it's definitely on the dry side and I wouldn't know how to refill it. Right, I'm sure now my dog's in here. I have 2 dogs, but one's far more annoying than the other, and this is the annoying one. I'm sure now she's in here, she'll want straight back out. So, let's try and make sure we've actually got this clean. This is just water on a chamois cloth. This isn't anything exciting. Okay, so that's those ones done. See, now these ones, these are pigment inks, and I just got these in some stash off Facebook Marketplace. So this isn't necessarily old, I just want to test. About right for a pigment ink, I think. You don't tend to get really solid black in the cheaper pigment inks. But again, I'm still not sure that I want to keep these, and I think this one's meant to be purple. Yeah, this one is purple. Again, let's have a look. Again, not too bad for a pigment ink. But again, do I really need large pigment inks? Now, this one is another Ink It Up one, and again, this has got 2001 on it, and this is Kelly Green, and I have a funny feeling. Can you see? I've already poked my finger in. Can you see the foam? So here we go. So can you see if I hold that on the side? You see the foam has just gone to mush. I'm not even going to push my stamp into it. So while it's still got ink in it, unfortunately, which you can see, sadly, the foam has degraded, which apparently some of the foam stamps do. And the foam has degraded so much on this particular one that I think I've stuck my stamp in it. Unfortunately, it would just squish to nothing. And I know that it is an issue that, so whether these were cheaper stamps, ink pads possibly to start with, but Ranger Perfect Medium has the same issues. So if I show you this one, I got this replaced. Can you see it's flat as a pancake? It crumbled and then went flat as a pancake. And I hadn't had this long, and I sent an email to Rangers customer service, and they sent me a replacement because I'd only just opened the packaging, and I think I bought it from Hobbycraft, and they have no control over how long Hobbycraft leaves it on the shelves, but apparently they do only have a 3 or 4 year shelf life. So if you're in a shop and it's been the one that's been pushed to the back and never got sold, these have the same issues as obviously the foam pigment ink pads. So I think sadly they're fit for nothing but the bin. And I think this one's going to be the same. I've already had a poke at this one. So this is an Ink It Up one. Again, this is copyrighted 2001. Whether it is from 2001, I don't know. But again, there's loads of ink in there. Can you see how wet my finger is? I just don't know how I'd use it without potentially damaging brushes, or I guess you could go maybe you could go direct to paper with it, but then I think you'd end up with too much. So again, I think having other things, I think that one's fit for the bin, sadly. But here we go, this is why we're doing this. So let's have a look at this one. This is another Ink It Up one. See, I don't know if they really are all from 2001, but this one doesn't look so bad, but I haven't had a poke at this one yet, so here we go. No, that one's springing back. So just to prove that it isn't these ink pads, that one's springing back. Okay, so, and I can see it's got ink on it because it's just inked my finger quite nicely. Find a clean spot. Yeah, there's still ink in there. So this one still works. So I think the trick is use them, and maybe it's some colours more than others, because I think this is the same colour and it's still got its packaging on. Again, that says 2001, so I'm going to leave that one only because it's the same colour, pink. Yeah, it's the same number on it, so I'm going to leave that one with its packaging on. This is another one I've had for years, made in the USA, but it was meant to be a stamp and stick one, and it never felt very wet, even when I got it, but it has got a sticky ink in there, so I guess it's basically an embossing ink. So let's give this a clean. And the foam doesn't seem to have degraded too much. Let's have a go. I wonder if it just needs a bit more effort. Yeah, there's definitely still some sort of clear ink in there. I don't know if you can see up here where I've stamped it. It has stamped something. So we'll keep that one for now. The foam in it, even though it's years old, the foam in it doesn't seem to have. So to use Stamp with Glue Pad, heat lightly until tacky. Oh, we'll have to see if this is going to work. Apply glitter or powder and tap off surplus. Should we see if it works? We've got some glitter and things around. Let's have a go. It's this bit here that I did. Let's see if this is going to work. I don't imagine it's going to go sticky. No, that's just going to dry. With a light heating, let's see. No, it's not sticky at all. I'm not even sure Perfect Pearls would stick to it. No, I don't even think Perfect Pearls is going to stick to that. So I'm going to change my mind, and that's going in the bin because it's so old and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Okay, these ones, again, I've still got one in the packaging. Again, I think I had one and then my mum had one. Now this is slightly damaged on the corner, so let's have a see. I'm just going to go down here because I actually don't want to put permanent ink on. Are we going to say that since that's supposed to be black, we think that's fairly dry? I think because it's cracked on the lid, and I think this one came from my parents' house. Again, this is my mum's. She's not doing any more card making or anything. I think I've got other better permanent ink pads, archival ones. So I think, again, has this one got a date? No. I'm going to chuck that one, but let's open the other one and see if this one's any better. This one's not cracked and it was still sealed, so let's see. Let me get a rubber stamp that I don't mind putting stays on it. I think this stamp needs a clean anyway, so this is a butterfly. So it's not really black, is it? Again, I might put it in my charity bag, because I've definitely got much better archival black solvent inks. So again, it's just taking up space in my craft room. I might put that one in a charity box rather than throwing it away, because you could stamp with that. This is Dovecraft Premium Silver Pigment. Now this, I think, I'm not sure if this came in some I got recently. It's got a £6 label on it. Let's have a go. Has this got a year on it? No, it's not got a year on. Oh no, 2011. So this is 2011. So first test. No, the foam is definitely springing back, and it's most definitely got silver on there. Let's double check my stamps are actually clean, because I don't want to contaminate it if it's a good silver. Well, I've got silver on my ink pad now, but that's off my fingers, that's okay. Wow, so that's a really good pigment. Let's try stamping over this to see what it looks like and how opaque it is. There we go. Actually, that's a really good, plenty of ink on it, silver ink pad. So that will need heat setting, I'm sure, because it's pigment ink. But that's a definite keeper, and we're definitely going to have a go at using that one. Now these are all pigment inks, and I can see, I know for a fact, I've been through these before, and unfortunately this one, I think you can probably just about see, this has still got its plastic on, and I know some of these are really old, some of them are newer, but I think you can see already that the foam in that is just completely gone. So even without doing anything, brand new in its packaging, use your stuff up. Yeah, and I think even without taking the packaging off, I can see that's exactly the same, the foam's gone. So this was my greens section. So you can see this is a mixture. There's some Paper Mania ones in here. Unfortunately, I think think's just on its way out. Not too bad. Let's have a look at this one. That one's still okay. I'm not going to stamp with all these. There definitely seems to be an issue with the greens, so some of these have numbers on, so that was number 2, number 9, this one's number 7. Yeah. Definitely completely deteriorated, unfortunately. Crimson, this one's different brand. See, this one looks like a completely different foam. I wonder actually if this isn't an old Anna Griffin one. It might be. As you can see, the foam in that is a lot denser, so that one seems to have lasted a lot better. Yeah, the Paper Mania ones I've got seem to be not too bad. The Pretty Colour, which I don't know what brand it is. Yeah. That one's gone. See, it's amazing how many still in the packaging have shriveled up. Again, still in its packaging, shriveled up. So, still in its packaging, shriveled up. So, funnily enough, the ones that are still with the packaging on haven't fared all that well. So, in here, I've got some more of these, the Ink It Up pigment inks. This one's still got its packaging on. This one says Nicole 2001. So let's see. Still seems to spring back. I'm just curious though if it's actually got any. Yeah, I'm worried that the ink's actually separated, because let me move that away. Because although it's, I'm not sure if you can see particularly well. I think, yeah, let's give it a chance to remix. Yeah, it might still work. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, it's not too bad. If the foam's still intact, you can perhaps, because it is foam, give it a squish like I just did there to try and get the pigment and the liquid to mix back together. I'm actually trying to pick that back up and stick it back on the foam pad, since that still seems to work. I might actually just try it with this one as well. See where we get to. Yeah, I think you could probably do some direct paper things with these and then dry them. So I might have to have a play at doing that. Now then, what about the silver? I know that this has been used to make Christmas cards. Let's have a go with this one. Yeah. Have a think. Yeah. Sadly, I don't think the foam's going to spring back much on this one, but you might. Well, there we go. That answers that question. Can you see? I was trying to use the foam to get the pigment out, but this is what happens with all these ones that I've thrown in here. If you actually try to do anything, the foam just completely disintegrates. So that definitely needs to go in the bin, because of course if this all disintegrated all over a blending brush or into your stamp, you'd be able to clean it out of the stamp, but it would be an awful mess trying to do so. Okay, so what other goodies have I got in here? This is another one of the permanent ones. This is in green. This came from my mum and dad's house, I believe. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what I'd use it for. I think I might put that on my charity pile. I think you could stamp with it, but it is a waterproofed permanent dye. I'm not sure what I'd use that one for. And then what else have I got hiding in here now? A horrible feeling a lot of these might have disintegrated as well. These are Pretty Colour. They're the same brand as a lot of those little squares we've just tested, and you can see a lot of these have leaked. And they were kind of, yeah, so this was just like a protective cover, and then it was a foam, and it was like a little targeted dauber. But yeah, I think these are all going to be going in the bin, which is sad. See, the metallic ones seem to just about be okay. Don't buy things because they're good value for money if you're never going to use it. I think those ones I will put in with these little cubes, and maybe I'll try to do so from these two things which were absolutely full of ink pads I've saved. It's not even anywhere near as full as it was, and I've got a whole tub of things that need to go in the bin, sadly. And I'm not even 100% certain about these. I think I might try use some of these and then we might get rid of them afterwards. And as I said, use your stuff, because this is what happens. It leaks, it goes out of date, and you end up with all this rubbish. And to my shame, they aren't the only pigment inks I've got. I've got this set here, which I don't know if it's dye or pigment inks. They both say pigment. But this set I got off Facebook Marketplace and a job lot of things. I've got another tin of Papermania dye-based inks, which look okay, so fingers crossed they still all work. And I've got another tin of pigment inks. I think while we're at it and we've got a rubbish bin, I think it's probably worth checking these ones, because I think we're going to have similar issues with these where the foam's gone in some of them. But let's find out. And I think these ones, yeah, that one that I had earlier, these ones were old Anna Griffin ones. So this chocolate one, yeah, it's like the other one. It's a much firmer foam, so there probably is a difference in quality with them. And again, this green, this is an Anna Griffin one. So I think that one that was mixed in with those others is probably an Anna Griffin one. It's got the same label on the back. Let me just find it. That one. So this one that's crimson. So I think these ones came in an Anna Griffin set many years ago, and I guess that they're probably 20 years old and they still work. So, and this one is a Versacolour one, which again I guess will be fine. But looking at it, yeah, it's a much firmer foam than Versamark. So those ones were probably better quality ink to start with than the other ones. And just for completeness, I think I might have a look at these ones, which I think might be the same as this set. That it's got a few pigment ones, and then I think the rest might be dye based in this. Yeah, these are all on a much more firm felt pad. So I'm assuming that these aren't going to have disintegrated, yeah. So definitely, I would definitely say your pigment inks, you definitely need to use them, because clearly they don't last. See what the metallic ones are like, because they tend to be on foam even if they're dye based. Yeah, I think that's the difference. You might still be able to use that because it's not quite as soft, but I think the pigment ones, I think even the metallic dye based, I think tend to be yeah, on a foam because of the way the pigment's suspended even in a dye. So while they do still sort of work, I think, yeah, they're not going to have lasted as well as the more felt-based ones. Again, you might be able to use those. Now, I hadn't even realised that had happened. This one's been up on its side in my tin. And obviously all the ink has leaked. But it goes to show there was quite a lot of ink in there. So let's get rid of. So there you go. Don't store the felt dye-based ones on their side, because the other ones that were on this side were these foam-based ones, funnily enough. Maybe don't store your dye-based ink pads on their sides. At least not your cheap ones. Ranges say that you can store them on the side. Now the original Distress ones, I think they are a dye base, but they say you can store them on the side, so I guess it's okay for them. I don't know why those more than others, but apparently you can. You won't believe it, I've just found some more ink pads hiding. These ones are from the Me To You, which is the Tatty Teddy ones. If you heard a little growl, that was my dog. I didn't, it's not my stomach. Yeah, these feel like a firmer foam, so I'm going to put these with the Anna Griffin ones, I think, because I think these ones are still going to be okay looking at them, yeah. So yeah, I need some good ideas what to use pigment inks for. Anyway, use your stuff up because it goes off. Thanks for watching. Bye.